Hello everyone, Ryan here with another album review. This time I'm reviewing System of a Down's first album, debut album, which is also self-titled. Of course, this was released June 30th, 1998. That's right, 1998. And I'll go ahead and give the track listing, talk about 5 of my favorites, and so on and so forth. So, first track is titled Sweet Pea. Second track is titled No, K-N-O-W. Third is Sugar. Fourth is Suggestions. 5 is Spiders. 6 is D, Devil, or just Devil. 7 is titled Soil. 8 is War with a question mark. 9 is titled Mind. 10 is Peep Hole. 11 is Cubert. 12 is Darts. And 13 is titled Pluck, which stands for Politically Lying, Unholy, Cowardly Killers. And so 5 of my favorites off of this album would be: my 5th favorite is Soil, my 4th is War, my 3rd is Sugar, 2nd favorite is definitely Sweet Pea, and my first favorite, absolute favorite song off this album is Spiders. And I believe it might be a favorite for a lot of other people, a lot of fans of System of a Down. Pretty much I feel like Spiders is definitely the most melodic song on this album, and because pretty much all the other ones combine elements of, well, System of a Down in general, they combine elements of thrash metal, hard rock, rock, a little bit of blues, and also a little bit of punkish rhythms, beats, and also a lot of experimental stuff. Various experimental things, such as, they add in mandolin tracks or kind of weird sounding synthesizer parts. And this is pretty much all this makes up the band, the entity that we've come to know as System of a Down. And of course, I like that majority of their songs are politically oriented, or at least somewhat politically oriented. I like that they just flat out, give their opinion. They really, in a way, they kind of remind me of other bands, such as Rage Against the Machine, or trying to think of another band. Or a lot of underground punk bands too, who also happen to be very politically oriented and are very much against things like war, greed, corporate takeover, corporate fascism. Because me personally, I guess that's one of the reasons why I like System of a Down. It's not the only reason, but because me personally, I also happen to be against things like, I'm against war, definitely against greed, against a lot of other things associated with capitalism, materialism. But yeah, I could do a whole other video on that. But as far as this album is concerned, I do give it 5 out of 5 metal horns. Definitely. Though I will admit that sometimes if I listen to it too much, my overall feelings for it tend to fluctuate. I will say that I do think this is the best System of a Down studio album, because it was produced so well, and not only that, but it captures their raw sound, because Last time I read, the guitarist, which I believe his name is Darren, I think Darren Malakian, or along those lines. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He, of course, the tuning he plays in is drop C tuning for guitar. So that accounts for the low thrashy kind of sound they have. But also too, I know that he, as far as the guitar player is concerned, he doesn't employ a lot of effects. Like, there's different effects that guitar players use in order to kind of enhance their overall sound and tone. But last time I read, he's not one that likes to use a lot of effects. Pretty much, if you go and hear him live, play live, his guitar sound is very dry. But he prefers that because he believes that it gives the songs more of a timeless feeling, I guess, timeless quality. And I get that. I understand that to a certain extent. Because me, myself, as a guitar player, I do tend to side with him in that I don't like using a lot of different effects. Because, you know, the more different effects you use as a guitar player or even as a musician, the more things you have to rely on to achieve a certain sound. Then, you know, the more it tends to get complicated. But yeah, I mean, that's how I personally feel, and I understand that's how Darren Malakian, the guitarist for System of a Down, he has the same opinion as well when it comes to guitar playing. And of course, he's also not the most technical player, but he makes up for it with different strumming techniques. Because I know some of the songs just on this album, like in War or Sweet Pea, others too, Soil, he employs different strumming techniques, and which I gotta say, I don't know exactly how he was able to achieve these different strumming techniques, because me being a musician, one time I tried to learn a couple of System of a Down songs from this album, and for instance, the song War, it opens up with him just kind of picking away at like the high strings. What I say is the strings that are tuned to the more higher part of a certain guitar scale. And on the album, it sounds, it's so precise and so accurate. But then when you try to recreate that live in a live setting, obviously it's going to sound a little off. And I know that based on different live recordings I've seen of System of a Down, I've even seen Darren Malakian himself is not able to recreate certain guitar picking techniques that he was able to essentially master in the studio. But of course, that's studio. You know, with studio magic, you can pretty much achieve anything. That's one of the good things about the studio. But at the same time, you know, it can be tricky if you do too much in the studio, which I guess makes sense why Darren Malakian would prefer not to rely on too many effects and whatnot. So essentially, this is my favorite System of a Down album. Not that I don't like their other albums as well, but for me, this is definitely my favorite. I will admit, when it comes to the lyrical content, I know the singer Serge Tankian, I believe is his name. He does tend to write again, another lyric writer who writes profound lyrics. But some of them can be difficult to understand. Like, I know there's one line off of this album, I forget which song, but he says something like strong refrigerators, and one of the songs talks about the kombucha mushroom people. But in that sense, I guess it's more like he's trying to invoke certain images that would only be familiar to him or to a very certain select group of people. But nonetheless, it goes pretty well with the music. I will say that the first time I listened to System of a Down, it was kind of hard for me to swallow, hard to digest, because I never really heard anything like it before. In fact, I'll say still to this day, I've yet to hear anything quite like System of a Down. Maybe there's been a couple bands here and there where they attempted to mimic the same sound, but never quite pulled it off. So, yeah, I mean, that's another reason why I give it 5 metal horns, definitely. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know how you feel. If you like System of a Down, if you don't like them, what's your favorite song off of this album? So yeah, that'll do it for this review. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Don't be afraid to follow me on social media. All the links will be provided down below. And as always, until next time, keep it real, keep on rocking, and peace.